Lioma, lioma, erinjene sunga lioma, 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 erinjene sunga lioma. Mama nampita akamba mwana wange jja kubulire imulanye imulinye awatali kubo Karinya yesa ngati nepata isingako eswaga lya mana Lioma, lioma, erinnya lya Yesu nga lioma, 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 erinnya lya Yesu nga lioma. Lioma, lioma, erinnya lya Yesu nga lioma. Lioma, lioma, erinnya lya Yesu nga lioma. Lioma, erinnya lya Yesu nga lioma, lioma, erinnya lya Yesu nga lioma. A good morning, a good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Ugaga nyombu fumbo no nyomwana terinya Yesu yiterinya Yesu no nyombu fumbo gwanonya abana nyobugaga gwanonya emirembe akalulu kabaka Yesu when you are still breathing, the glory goes back to the Lord. It is up to you to choose what you want to do for the Lord. It's up to you and your family. How you give thanks is your business. At the end of the day, it's your business. So how you choose to do it is your business. How you choose to live your life is your business. How you choose to interact with people is your business. How you choose to use people is your business. How you choose to lie to people is your business. How you choose to fit in society is also your business. If you want to look like others, it's also your business. At the end of the day, a uterus makes sure one comes one out by themselves. Some people, they cut them out. That hole only brings out one. Hey, Joshua. Vangomangada kuchenda vyewa mulirwana tetulinda owomukwano ukatonda leta kawaliyo batekeno ayayaya. Today is a Sunday. Obatekeno ayayaya. Teko mukisa ni obatekeno. Obatekeno ayayaya. Teko mukisa no kwera mwere mwere watuna teko mukisa. Mwere watuna teko mukisa. Mwere watuna teko mukisa. Mwere watuna teko mukisa. Kwera mwere mwere watuna teko mukisa. Mwere watuna teko mukisa. Mwere watuna teko mukisa. Mwere watuna teko mukisa. Kwaliyo batekeno. Kwaliyo batekeno. Kwaliyo batekeno. Obatekeno. The kwaliyo batekeno. The joy of life is that you can breathe. Wherever tunateko. Owadde mulungi. That is Gabin Tart on the drums. You see, when you walk a journey that has a lot of challenges, you learn to appreciate every moment you breathe. There was a time I could not speak. There was a time breathing was hard. There was a time I sat down and I wondered why everything is happening the way it's happening. But when I look back and I look at my journey, I don't regret a thing. I don't regret a thing. And after knowing that each one of us gets 2 pairs of legs, 1 pair of legs. Every child comes out of their mother's womb with legs, with hands, with 2 eyes, with a nose, with 2 holes, with 2 ears. They have their own brain. You have your own heart, and the heart is always one. I was like, why is it that people always make us feel like you can't move on alone? Why is it that we are always confined? I'm like, oh, I can actually run this race with the one who started it, right? Kanfune chupande yesu nkutimbe timbe. Gusukiride. There are people who make you feel like without them you can't move. Zawe wangamba di mwana wo goyagala kati kirabiyeko nze sewa kana. When you understand that when a seed is put in the ground, even if they put 4, each one of them has to open on its own. Because when a bean is growing, the beans don't stay in the ground. The beans are very interesting. It comes out when it's like this. Then it splits. It comes out of the ground. The bean seed comes out of the ground. The maize stays down and it comes up. And then it gets a stalk, which is too tall. Then it gets the maize corn. And the maize corn has a lot of seeds on it. The beans has a lot of beans, but they are either 3, having 5 inside, or depending. But the bean seed comes out and it splits like this, like a heart. Because 2 is better than 1, it has 2 parts that split. A jackfruit has seeds. An avocado has a seed, and for it gets a big tree. I don't know whether you're an avocado seed. I don't know whether you're a guava seed. Your lifestyle will tell us. Because we always see them by their fruits. It is always a reaction that brings an action, right? Or the other way around. How you perceive things, how you understand things, how you react back is your business. Whoever you follow around and grow is your business. But never forget this. The same God that created that man you follow or woman around is the same God that created you. And it's the same God that gave you the brain. Use your brain wisely. Bwana. There are times I come here and I just want to sing only. Yeah, my side, you can't hear the music. For now, we will do it that way, and it's okay with me. Yes, you have to respect the copyright law. And it is very okay. It is very okay to be different. It's very okay to have a different opinion about life. I don't like being a copycat. I don't like looking like others. I don't like trends. I don't like fitting in. Every time I try to fit in, it's always a problem. Have you ever been disrespected because of being good? I tend to think for others. I tend to think good for others, and you're disrespected for it. Do you know how it feels? You have a lot to learn. But one thing I taught myself, no one's rotten manners is going to destroy the good in moi. I love social distancing. I've always done it, and it feels so good. You know, it is us that makes people start being bad when people were not bad. But one thing I'll not do is to be bad because of anyone's poor character. Yes, that one I'll always say it. You just see people to wear suits around, start on pulpit, speak. People have rotten characters. There are people who were nice, but they started being bad because of their broken marriages, because they met the wrong spouses. It is because you don't ask the Lord when you're making a decision about spouses. It has nothing to do with a rich man's daughter or a rich man's son. Marriage is a long-time commitment. Marriage is not an achievement. Marriage is ministry, and marriage is life. It is not an achievement. Giving birth to kids is not an achievement. We've seen people who have run mad because she has given birth. We have seen people running mad because of marriages, because they've met the wrong character. It has nothing to do that you're old in age, so you should get married. Whoever is teaching you that, tell them to go back to kindergarten. When people are pushing you around to get married, they don't think about the effect of what you're going to go through because of whoever they want to attach you to. Now, these so-called matchmakers, tell them to stay in their lane. And tell them that their children should get married first, then they should matchmake others. Because it has been one of the leading causes of broken marriages. Because people are not ready. When a man is not ready, you cannot force him to marry. And girls, it's not written anywhere that you should get married young. The challenge you're having is you're walking in that bandwagon lifestyle. Ask the Lord. You all have your own calendars. I don't stop you from listening to your motivational speakers whose words fall on empty grounds, because most of them don't cover it with the word of God. Careful out there. Start to use your head. Can that man put up with the person you are? Can you put up with the kind of man he is? He has a family he comes from. Families normally are nosy. When we go for weddings, people are like, I want to see the man. Others are like, the woman. Everyone has an opinion. They come and eat your food, but they'll always be like, emmere gye baafumbye oba niye bafumbidde. Ekitete eky'omugole. They always have something to say. Friends and family. Mwazze ku mukolo kusanyuka, naye eriyo atasanyuse nti ofumbirwa, takyagalangako. Naye ali mu society. And we don't want reality and the truth. Of course, as a young girl, you're growing, or you're like, I want a tall man, a rich man. Mama, kinalemboozi. Jajjaawo yamukuteerayo tolo mani rich mani. Then the boys are like, ababawala abaddugavu. Sweetheart, mugenda kulya buddugavu. And some of the girls are getting the boys because they want to get pregnant. Do you know that you're creating a full human being? We have many kids who don't have mothers, but they have uterus carriers. There are some boys who are sperm donors, and some girls are just womb carriers. Nayenga one. Others are like, me, I don't want to give birth. Period. Every pregnancy she gets, she removes it. Do you know the effect of what you're doing? Do you have an idea? Parents, when are you, why would a girl reach to a point of aborting 3 times before she's even 30? As a mother, as a father, what is it that you're doing with these kids? Because it all starts at home. There are some fathers or mothers who have died early. Relatives, why are you relatives? You're only relatives when it is about land issues, eh? You see, I stand here and I'm like, please, you will forgive me. My opinions are my opinions. Eh? Then the other part of the story, we have a bloodline. Each one of us has a bloodline that has weirdos. People did things, but people stood up and took full responsibility of their actions. You will forgive me when I see a man saying, that child is not mine, and he boldly tells his wife that your children are the only children. And where he went to gallivant, and he was caught in the net, he says those are not his children. The mother of the man, you should be in position. The siblings of that man, you should be in position to make sure when you get to know that your brother has kids, they are taken care of, regardless who their mother is or not. Because you, as the family, you're going to pay the price for it. Yet the actions were for your brother. Abalokoka naba musembeza ye Yesu be yanazano musayi gwe ye omutukuvu abakola obutukirivu n'okubulira enjiri abayigiza erinnya ly'ekkulu abayimuza ekigambo kye ne baleeta bangi mu kiseebo kye tuliyambala engulazi masa olutalo nga luwedde tuliyambala engule mu Yerusalemu empya tuliyambala engulazi masa olutalo nga luwedde tuliyambala Yerusalemu empya abalwanyi ba Mukama wano ne mu mawanga gonna tukuŋŋaane tube bumu tuyimuse Katonda waffe tuyimbe tusakanye tuyimuse amaloboozi waggulu we olwo tuli mulaba mu kitiibwa kye alitusangula amaziga alitunaazaako ennaku nga tuwonya okufa n'emiteelu gy'ensero liriba ssanyu okulaba omulokozi alyoka atutikkire engule zimasamasa nga tutuuse mu Yerusaalemi tuliyambala engule zimasa olutalo nga luwedde tuliyamba engule muye tuliyambala engule zimasa olutalo nga luwedde tuliyambala engule mu Yerusaalemi mpya ng'okusaba nga kuwedde tuliyambala engule okusiiba nga kuwedde tuliyambala engule okukaaba nga kuwedde muye ngo Yesu waffe ng'akomyewo emisango ng'agiwedde kubonaabona ng'akuwedde tuliyambala masa olutalo nga luwedde tuliyambala to our copycats, careful when you're copying. To the mothers that reject the children of your husbands, you will pay a very huge price. To the kids who reject your siblings because your father rejected the kids, you will pay dearly. So careful. Careful. No child asks for permission to be given birth to. So teach your children to put their altars together, because your children are going to repeat the same mistakes your husband made. And what you feared most is exactly what your son is going to repeat. Some people have already fallen victims. And what is so interesting, their wives don't treat the first kids right the way their grandmother did it. It's very mesmerizing how you fall in a trap and marry a woman who works like your mother. If it has happened to you boys out there, Kajambo, your wife does not accept the kids you gave birth to, either before her or after her. She's behaving exactly like her mother-in-law, who is your mother. Kigamba Yesu msebu nnyo. Senya. Engeri gy'ogwa mu trap n'owasa omukazi ng'alinga nnyoko. ne maama wo teyakkiriza baganda bo, naawe ozadde abaana ebbali, ne mukazi wo lukyali lutalo. Bw'aba postinga abaana ateekayo babe bokka ab'omuntu mbwe. Bali baatayingiza munnabaana akola ati babakubye ebifaananyi ng'obwana butunulayo buti. The stepmother is it called the stepmother? Yes, if the woman is not your mother, she's your stepmother. But her children are half siblings to your kids. Kugamba Katonda yewuunyisa. Taata wo mwebazanga yonna gy'ali. Nomugamba taata wakakola. Walonda maama. N'ozaala ebbali omwana n'omwegaana. Ne maama n'akkiriza n'agamba oyo omwana si waafe. Ng'omwana afaanana taata wo okuva ku nviiri n'amannyo n'enjogera n'obutunu buli kimu. Naawe n'ofuna omukazi nga naye yeemu. What a punishment. It is indeed amazing. When you plant beans, you get beans, not maize. And it continues in the bloodline. Don't forget it. Even your son, if you're not careful, he'll do the same thing. And he'll still get the same measure shaken together of a wife. And it becomes a trend in the family. It is always started by one man. And it enters the bloodline like this. The way your mother rejected the children is the way your wife is not accepting the children. Kubanga, your wife was not your choice. Your wife was your mother's choice. She chose someone who is exactly like her. Kubanga yamukolera. Katonda wange. Your mother chose the wife you have. We are finished. Someone chose for your spouse. They always choose themselves or someone who looks like their husband. Now be careful when someone is making a choice for you of a spouse. Those things of saying, when I looked at you, Esther, I saw the other man you were feeding. Mugambe, Kajambo. They always choose someone who looks like them. Because two birds of the same feathers will always fly together. My friend. Someone in the family where I come from once said there were some mistakes that were done when people were choosing for each other. And the person said, starting from today, let everyone marry their choice. Stop choosing people for people. He stood his ground. Because there was a mistake that was made and someone ended up in the grave. Courtesy of spouses. Someone made a mistake in the family and it was started. And it became a lifestyle in the family. I looked at that trend and I said, They choose from your spouse. With all the things I have seen, some people, they chose spouses for them and things didn't just. Because whoever makes for you a choice gets for you someone of their caliber. I want to make my own mistakes. Yes, so that I can take full responsibility of my own mistakes. Biamwana wani, family yani, nengabani. When I got married, they asked, "Oyo wawate, yavudiwa." Nibagamba bagenda investigations, nembagamba don't. Because they were going to investigate and get embarrassed for nothing. And some who got to know, they just boycotted the wedding. I told them, please don't investigate before you get embarrassed. I am a girl who does investigations before I make mistakes. Because you cannot date someone for 7 good years and you don't know stuff about them. I am a girl who investigated to a point of knowing that his grandfather studied with my grandfather. As like, let me tell these people not to investigate before they land themselves into trouble. There are certain things you don't need to investigate, especially when it has history that has tears. Be very careful with that history. Some just decided to boycott because when they looked deeper, they were like, hey. Because most of the times your child is going to get married to someone not so far away from the circles. My friend, some of us, God chooses spouses for people. And I come from Uganda. And in Uganda, when you look at the circles, when people are getting married, the things are not so far from the truth. It is always within the same circles. Because God knows what is best for you. I told them, please don't investigate. Because if you do, I knew what they're going to get themselves into. Yes, people give birth to their children and people separate. When they are younger, they study together, then they separate. Life goes on. You're going to get married to your father's hobby, your mother's hobby, the children. They always be the same circles. Like the bloodline keeps on looking for things like this. But since you're the mother of the daughter, please go ahead and choose spouses for your kids. But you're going to choose exactly yourself. Yes. I wouldn't want to get married to someone. There are some people whom I would not want. I don't want them to choose for me spouses. Because they'll always choose for you themselves. I'm not ready for that. I am not. After knowing the characteristic of a human being, you'll always be in the same circles. All the time they are nosy, asking, my friend, I don't want nosy people in my marriage. Yes, it is what it is. I love my privacy. When my mother got married, the family of my dad asked, where did she meet her again? Who is she? Some people said, you know what, keep quiet. Because her grandmother had studied with the auntie to my dad. And some people were like, she's new in the family. When the auntie to my dad lost her husband, my mother went with her grandmothers to pay their respects. But no one would think that my mother would ever get married to a boy in that house. That's why I told someone, please. She was connecting me to her friend. Because it's the same thing that happened to her when she was getting married. I told her, where I come from, no one chooses a spouse for us. God chooses. She's like, you see, God uses people. I said, because I didn't want her to be the one God chooses, for her to choose for me a spouse. Yes, because she had done some bad things in my life and she never corrected them. I wanted a healing process. I love healing in silence. I took a big fall on her behalf. I wanted to heal in silence. When she's not nosy, in my things. I got to know her through other people because she's not a friend. People, they have a bad report about her here. Her friends don't tell her the truth. I wanted to heal in silence. When someone hurts my feelings, I go and I heal in silence. Right now I am teaching you. I love healing in silence. Because there I heal faster when no one is poking the wound. Because people who hurt people, they don't recognize their mistakes to apologize. They cover it until you move on. After destroying your reputation everywhere. And now let me warn people who listen to rumors without investigating. You become an accomplice to someone's hurting. If your pastors are not teaching you that, your motivational speakers, your inspirational speakers, your expired speakers, now let me teach you. They fear that ground because we have hurt people around the world. And what we do is move on. When you're leaving a trail of people hurting because of your poor character, you think God is stupid. All most of the problems you're having are people's tears. Mukwan, you pay. When a human being cries because of you, you pay. When I was growing up, my father said that a man who makes a woman cry when the tears are not of joy does not love or respect God. So boys, be careful when you're hurting those women you keep gallivanting with and having sex with, yet you're not taking them anywhere. You better marry that girl. Because you're going to pay for the tears you have caused in her life. You're going to pay. Your kids are going to struggle and suffer because of the tears of the girls you impregnated and don't take care of their kids. Be a responsible man. You are a man who has 2 legs. If you can afford to lie down and make someone pregnant, be a man. What makes a man is when he takes full responsibility of his actions. Full responsibility. If you are poor, stay away from people's daughters. If that girl is clinging around you and you don't love her, tell it to her face. Don't say, I feared breaking her heart. Don't lead her on. Boldly tell her, I have boldly told some men. Me, I'm a girl who has grown up with men. My circle of friends has more men than girls. When I'm your friend, it does not mean that I want to be your girlfriend. From the country I come from, me, I will educate your children, I'll educate you as a man and your wife when I don't need anything. That is me. Where you get the concept that whoever does something good for you wants to be your girlfriend or boyfriend, that is a poor mentality. That is how we lose good friends. And when you send a pass, you know when you're playing football or soccer, they're going to send a ball. When you send that ball and I don't react and it passes me, it is not a crime. I have my preferences. I know the kind of person I am. When I'm someone's friend, there are certain things you won't see. But when I'm going to walk a journey with you, To go further, I make sure you see everything about me. Or you have to go for a class. I'm like a PhD. Yes, I know myself. I'm like a PhD. Yes, I had to study myself. I carry different things. Courtesy of the names I got, courtesy of the kind of person God created, courtesy of the family I come from, courtesy of my experiences and my journey in life. Yes, I'm an exposed person. I've been around very many people, and I've grown up in an environment that has old people in age who are in different professionals. The time I was supposed to be a teenager, I was an old woman. The time I was supposed to be a baby, I was an old woman in a diaper. And now I get to this age, then I'm returning back to being a baby. You have no idea what that means, and you don't have an idea how it feels. It is you who knows how the shoe fits. It is you who knows how tight the shoe is. Don't allow someone to know how tight your shoe feels. They'll always walk away and tell you, you're not the first one. When someone does such a comment, just know you're in the wrong circle. Protect your heart. Just pause and let them walk. Yes, I love my wing. I don't like people who conclude about people when you don't know the truth. You keep spoiling a good relationship. I love mixing and mingling in such a way that I love activities. Me, I love adding value onto people. It's a bloodline issue. I don't like seeing people who are sad. Me, I call people that I want to see you and I want to see you, and the people keep giving excuses. And I'm like, okay, I've done my part. When I let go, I'm your worst mayor. Is that the right English? I don't know. That's a foreign language. Either way. I am that worst dream you don't want to watch. You know, you sleep and you get a dream and you're like, yes, when I let go, it becomes dark. Because when I come into your life, I make sure I leave a footprint of joy. And when I am leaving, I don't leave a piece of me behind. Yes, many people have told me to walk away, stay away, don't communicate. Yeah, I've gotten, my friend, I've gotten rude. Someone sends a rude message when I have not fought. I don't like fighting. Because when I fight, the results are not good. So I don't like fighting. I don't like seeing some things. When I get annoyed, I cry. To suppress and fight the beast that might come out. Each one of us has it. I suppress it with tears so that I command the anger to go down. My grandfathers on all sides. Let me stop there. When I gave my life to Christ, I had to deal with what we call anger. Because ours, when we get annoyed, it boils. My dad would just go for a walk. I love walks when I'm annoyed. Mama would enter in the bedroom and she cries her anger, because when she allows that anger to take charge, for us, we come from a country that has animals for clans. And with my dad's side, they covered a lion with a grasshopper. They covered them with a grasshopper, yet they carry a lion. Courtesy of their great-grandfather. So, after knowing history about myself, I'm like, there are things we need to deal with here and here and here, because when I get married, that man, I don't think he'll put up with certain things. I take time off on a personal level, not with my friends. There are certain things about me. I have a me time. I ask for time out, time out. I say time out. Every time I get a time out, I'm having a meeting with myself and my God. I am the human being in the meeting. Then the inner me. Then my God, who created me, he knows me better. Someone was telling me, Esther, you've cut out many things you've been doing. What's going on? I just kept quiet. Because I cut them out, I didn't actually cut them out. People's poor character suppressed me. And I decided to ask for time out. And I am waiting patiently in my private wing, God to send men and women who will appreciate the kind of human being I am. Because I don't want to go to my grave, not now. I have a big assignment to finish for his people. I stay away from people and their poor character. I stay away from users. Teach your children confidence. Teach your child to know how to be independent. Make sure you nurture every talent that child has, so that when they are alone, they don't feel alone. Me, I'm a busybody. I give myself work. I've been like that. I love reading. My dad started nurturing my reading by buying such things. Even if I don't read the whole book. Me, when I open the front page, I open the back, I have read the book. Period. One thing I don't read like that is this, because it's the only thing that has a solution to my life. This is the only thing that has a solution to my life, not the books that people write. And some of them even lie. They put their lies in their books so that their book can sell. You call yourself an author. Make sure you write the right things in there. Most of you have lived a lie, because you also want to rub shoulders. I'm the author, so that you want to be recognized on earth, not in heaven. Sorry about that. How we work so hard to be recognized and put here in the Genesis books of records when you cannot work for heaven? My friend, the people who work in the Genesis book of records are just people like you. Their names are not even written anywhere. This is a key. When I have this, my degree does not even matter. Yes, I have 2 degrees. I didn't graduate. It is you who knows. My research was approved. And when they approve my research, what more do I want? This is the only way to success. Help your child. Help your child. Because your child is going to get to that point when you're not there. It's going to be tight. Open your Bibles in the book of Joshua. The world is going to lie you with whatever it wants. Wait, what do I have in here? Oh, it's a pen. Help your children. Because many kids, because they are looking to be loved, they are not, because they feel they are not loved, they are going to go looking for love. I don't look for love. I carry the love myself. If I'm to define love, I carry the love. Love is putting other people's needs above yours. That's what God did. When I carry God, I carry love. I don't look for love. I give it. Because he first loved me. Allowed my parents to get married. Allowed my mother to get pregnant. Allowed my mother to carry me for 9 months. I'm not a C-section type. My mother pushed me out at the age of 21. She pushed me out. I see people who say I was young at 20. That is why I cannot. My friend, you met the wrong man. When God chooses a spouse for you, you can stay in your marriage. When you got married at 20, 18, 19, if God is the one who has chosen the spouse, you cannot even. Let me tell you something. Even if God chooses the spouse when you're 50, in your calendar something was written that Nnakimera will get married. But if you quicken a process and God is not part of it, you're going to carry the cross. Parents, teach your children to wait upon the Lord and mount up with wings like eagles. I don't even know why you take kids to church when you cannot practice what you're taught. And now people are living a life of, there is nothing as annoying as getting your brokenness and it becomes a source of money. And you start making money out of your brokenness. There are things I don't understand. How I have to make you pay because I failed in a relationship. I teach you how to what? How how my brokenness becomes a source of money. Have we gotten to that level that is so low that we need to make people pay money for us to teach them about our mistakes so that they don't fall victims of our... Your parents are doing what out there? Why do I have to make someone pay $100K, which is $30, and they come and I teach them about my brokenness? Really? When people are hungry in their houses, when in your family there are people who don't go to school, basically, as a human being, we've gotten so low to that level. No, people, please go attend whatever they are telling you to attend. Please, that is their side hustle. Because they cannot read this and obey to be prosperous and successful. Yet they go to church every Sunday. But they cannot read this and walk that talk to be prosperous and successful. That they can offer their services for free. Especially services that involve their brokenness. They are seeing everything as an opportunity to make money. How you're seeing my failures as an opportunity to make money, I tell you, wherever we are going right now, it's going to be tight. Brace yourself and buckle up and wear the right shoes. We are running. It's a race. But if you want to step in somebody's lane, please go ahead. I don't change lanes. It does not matter whether my lane is the one outside the curve. I don't change my lane. Many people have been running and they are in my lane. But they made me look like I'm the one in their lane. I was like, it's okay. I am in your lane. I paused. And I allowed them to go ahead of me. Because I know what is ahead of us. If I don't wear my army uniform, Ephesians chapter 6, I'm in trouble. I allowed them to go. They didn't appreciate the fact that they met me on the way. And I stood in the gap where I could. They didn't appreciate that. It's okay. What I did in your life is part of my assignment as a human being who breathes. I stayed in my lane. My lane has leaders. We take care of people. People's happiness is our concern. People's well-being is our concern. Yes, it comes with the assignment. Being a leader is not talking and writing books. It comes with the assignment. I was in my lane doing my life's journey assignment. I ran on according to my own speed. You can pass, please. I don't rush my death. Please go. You want to get married younger, please continue. You want quick money, please continue. You want to go abroad. You want to do whatever it takes to go abroad. Please go. You want to make money, quick money, please go. I don't do pyramids. I don't do quick things. Please go. A new church started. Everyone is running there. Please go. You've just given your life to Christ. I've been there too long. I know those who run very fast, those they've knocked each other and knocked themselves, gave up, or then came back. My friend, they have a lot of wounds in salvation. Please continue. You are a youth. You want to be in the youth environment. Make sure you don't have a UTI. Please go. You want to be in a rich church. Please continue. I know how someone gets money or rich. It is always he. It is not in the financial institution classes and the books. I want money here. Children here. Marriage here. Traveling here. Go long life here. Everything is here. Please go. You want to rub shoulders with a big? You're not big. Sorry, I've always been big since I was a baby. I've been big. I come from the big. Please continue. If your mother is not big and father and you want to rub shoulders, please continue. When I have God, what big am I looking for? Please go. You come from a poor background. Your father and mother didn't know this. It was a temporary situation. You stayed there too long. Yes, I know. The solution is here. You will forgive me. Both my grandfathers had cars. You're running around to get a car. Both my grandfathers had a car. Each one in their own section. They all come from big men. Their mothers were great women. Their fathers were great women. Their great-grandparents were great. So basically, greatness is great inside me. Good. And now me, I am above them because me, I know Jesus. I made a personal relationship and I got an encounter. I got an encounter. Now, if I want to get generational wealth, we don't choose the families we come from. No. Even if some family members don't talk to me, I have a bad habit. Is it bad or good? I don't know. When I look at my family members, I'm like, especially when you have a longer mouth, I first ask, who is that one? Okay. Who is their mother? Bambi. Their mother was very kind. How come the child is not kind? Okay. Who is their father? Okay, that one. What happened? Okay. Why is that one behaving like that? Oh, then I remember they haven't yet given their lives to Christ. Okay. I no longer struggle with anyone. I just go back into the bloodline and I look at the generations and I look at the man after a man after a man after a man. And I'm like, okay. Okay. Then I look at your father's friends. I look at your mother's friends and I'm like, okay. Then I look at your personal life and your friends and your wife or your husband and I'm like, Then I accept you the way you are and I match. Joshua chapter 1. I used to struggle so much, and I'm like, why am I struggling with human beings? And I'm like, let us go back to the roots. Now, if you don't have roots, that's tight and tricky. May you please get to know the roots and solve the issue. Yes, you cannot solve the value of X when you do not know the Y value. It is always an X and Y chromosome to get a DNA, right? Joshua chapter 1. Now it happened after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, and that the Lord spoke to Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' servant, in brackets attendant, saying, now it happened after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, that the Lord spoke to Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' servant, in bracket attendant, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, arise to take his place. When your father died, your brother followed suit. When your father died, the son to your uncle became the heir, right? Who chose him? Your father or his brothers? Okay, your father named his brother's kids. So, he's coming to be our heir because our dad gave him the names. That qualifies him to be the heir. Because my father gave his brother's son a name. So that qualifies that young man to be the heir and wear my father's shoes. Is that the criteria? My uncle, or the brother to my dad, do you know where we stay? Can your son really wear the shoes of my father? The mother to that young man, the wife to my auntie, does she know us? Does she know where we stay? Does she know the kind of man my dad was? Does she know my mother? Does she know what we need in case we need to talk to our father? My uncle, besides you being my father's brother, have you done your job as my father's brother in my life? I'm looking at leaders. Fathers, you're leaders. Let's leave parents alone. We are in a church. and the senior pastor, God forbid, happens to kick the bucket, let me start with the churches whose ministries is a family affair. Yet God called only the man. And that man didn't have a wife and children. Then he marries. The man said, God called me. I was in the mosque and I had a voice telling me, Abd, rise up and come serve me. The voice was too big and very scary. You did not even know what to do or where to start from. You're like, who is talking? You've been, Allahu Akbar, Allah. Then as you're saying Allah, then you hear a loud voice. Then you turn around and you notice that you're the only one who has heard it. Then you compose yourself because you're in the mosque. As you're busy trying to, Allah, then the voice becomes stronger. And you become uncomfortable. Because you know the rules that govern the mosque. You compose yourself. Trust me, you will not continue with the prayers. You will stay there as a statue, a dummy, so that you don't disturb the other guys next to you. Because there are rules that govern the mosque. During prayers, you will try and compose yourself. You start shaking and sweating. And you don't know how to explain the feeling. Then when the prayers are done, the imam is now going to teach. Then you say you want to, you're like, bathroom time. And you get out, you even forget to wear your shoes, you just pick them and put them here and you walk out. A man who went to the bathroom takes an hour, 2 hours, he never goes back to the mosque. He goes back to his place and tells his wife, I don't know what happened. We were praying, Allah Akbar. And Allah came down. Allah Akbar. Then before we know it, next Friday, Abdu doesn't come. Abdu goes to seek for help. And the voice doesn't stop. It comes at a time you don't expect it and you're like, what is going on? Can you leave me alone? Then they find you talking to yourself. Fast forward, you give your life to Christ and you start serving God. Of course, you find people who identify, you start identifying with some people. You start to learn how to read the Bible. The man who used to read the Quran, now you're reading the Bible. And I love Muslims for one thing. They are committed to prayer. They are committed to their Quran. When they flip it and it looks the Bible, and those who are educated and they are researchers, they don't throw away the Quran. They read it hand in hand. The real Muslims who understand who Abraham is, who knows the history very well. I'm not talking about just the followers of Muhammad. I am talking about the real Muslims who knows what an altar is, the real history of who Ishmael was to Abraham. Those are the men I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the followers who speak Arabic when they don't understand what it means. I'm talking about men who have bothered to go and study beyond what they are told. A man who goes to seek and they become seekers. A man who hears a word and is like, no, it feels that there is something missing, this is empty. A man who wants to know more. A man who goes to dig the wells. The problem we have, we don't dig the well. We wait for the water to be brought. Whatever they tell us is what we walk with. Repeat after me. I repeat after you about what? Yes, you will forgive me. I always see it and pastors say, repeat after me. Most of the times I don't repeat after you. Because many of you left Christ long time ago, became a religion as if we are reading a rosary. I don't really like written prayers. Yes, let me give you the reality of the girl you don't know, that you assume that you know. I don't like them. Many times they say, repeat after me. There are a few times I repeat, because I know the power of a tongue and words. Yes, I protect my spirit with all my heart. I don't want to be polluted. Men have compromised themselves in the name of money. Women have compromised themselves. I know what compromise does. And they get rich. But when the money is coming from compromise, and they walk around billionaires, but when you go out there and you seek and you go deeper into the source of their money, it ain't God. I know what a covenant is. You can lie to those you just teach and they follow you around when they are blind. I will always have a question. Why do I have to change the way I dress to fit in your circle? Have you bought me the shoe? Have you bought me the clothes? Did you buy me the wig? You find all of them wearing a wig because the mother of the church is wearing a wig. Where was it written? Basically, when I look like this, I can't serve the Lord. On condition I smell good, I showered, I'm going to come and serve the Lord. I don't have the choir uniform, so I cannot sing. Pastor's wife, you determine who steps on your pulpit. I don't have a uniform. Did you buy it for me? Do you know what I'm struggling with? Do you know the reason as to why I didn't buy the uniform? Do you have a bag to help such kids? You don't have a uniform, you cannot come. I've been coming for practice. Now we reach at the end, and you tell me I cannot sing because I don't have the uniform. Are you sure? We are singing for who? We are serving who? You're the Moses, right? If Moses is behaving like that, who is our Joshua? Because when your husband dies, the work of God has to continue. And because it became a family affair, your son follows suit. Is your son ready for us? You even sit there and you put the land titles of the church in your names. We have seen people fight. The imam died, and the land title of the mosque is in the names of a family. Yet you use the community to get money to buy that land. You use us. I sent you money on that church. I also have a portion in it, so you told us it is God's work. When you're sharing the cake, it's between you and your wife and children. Okay. So Moses has gone. You are choosing your son for us. We used to come to office and see your husband, and he would allow anyone to enter because of the love of Christ in his heart. Now, because the pastor's wife does not like the way I interact with her husband, because the pastor's wife has a problem with her way of thinking, now the husband is gone. Pastor's wife, hello. The president has died, God forbid. And after him, he has died at a time, his term is still on. Who takes over? The prime minister. Here in the United States of America, the vice president steps in the shoes. If both the president and the vice president die, the wife steps in the suit. The designated driver. Joshua was a designated driver, but Joshua went through a process. As the heir, do you go through the process? Have you walked a journey with this man who has died for you to follow suit? Some of you don't even know the history of that man whose shoe you're wearing. I have seen some heirs disrespecting the family of the deceased, disrespecting the grandchildren of the deceased. The mother of the heir comes up and thinks she can stand and take whatever it is on behalf of her son. Where is the widow and the children and the grandchildren going to stay? These things that they don't teach them in your circles where you go to study. Your motivational speakers, inspirational speakers, expired speakers, your pastors don't teach these things. Your reverend, your imam does not teach these things. Then what is their work? That is why we end up in court. Now it happened after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, that the Lord spoke to Joshua that the Lord spoke to Joshua. To the pastoral team, did the Lord speak to you about who stands in next? To the family members, what is the criteria of choosing a heir? To the government, a member of parliament has died. What is the criteria? Their term is still on. This man has a wife, has children, has brothers. There is a young girl that died. Was she called Nnakimera? They didn't have to go into voting anybody else. Her sister followed suit so that she finishes her time. Then later they had to see it. Then they had to choose who follows suit. Nnakimera's sister had to serve the remaining time of Nnakimera. I think their political party is NRM or something. They didn't have to sit and take people through voting again. I don't remember that. If they did, it was so peaceful that they just let the sister follow suit to respect the legacy of Nnakimera. Someone who knew Nnakimera very well and how she handled people that she served. You remember that girl who died of, they said it was cocaine, poison. They concocted a story there of her dying. As usual, it is always concoction. She was a healthy young girl. Yeah, I'm up to date. I'm informed. I'm a Ugandan. I'm entitled to information because it is power. There was no commotion. People were like, no, she knows her sister. She knows the work. The work needs to continue. For the constituency she was in charge of. Fathers, mothers, your time is almost up. Have you prepared the one you're leaving behind on your behalf? Do you know what preparation is all about? They just tell you write the will. Writing the will, yes, you write the will. But have you prepared your family just in case? Or you don't think about death? Esther, for us, my friend, the promises are there. But you are in this world and you're not of this world. You're just a visitor. Death is brought by many issues. This body, when it falls sick, it cannot take in a lot. It gives up. Your spirit might be strong, but when this body says, I'm done, it is done. You can't do anything about it. Many times we've allowed the body to take charge. I have seen some men impregnating people around and they say, the body. What do you mean the body? Who carries the body around? Who carries your body around? There are some girls, then they're like, you see now, the body wanted. What do you mean the body wanted? There's some lame excuses we give when we are giving in to stupidity. Some friend of mine I have my friends who love me so much. So we have conversation. Yes, I have interesting conversations with my friend, and she said, Esther, now, seriously, how do you, when nature calls, what do you do? I said, which nature? Be specific, because I have the nature of breathing, I have the nature of we have the respiratory system, we have the brain, we have the stomach, we have going to the toilet, excretion, we have everything. Can you be specific, please? The body is divided into several parts. What are we talking about? Then he laughed. I said, no, be specific. When the nature calls, which one? When the body wants to have sex, I said, when the body wants to have what? Of course, we laughed about it. And I told him, it's something I don't think about, because I've walked a journey. Of course, it comes up and here and there because I'm a human being, right? But because I made a decision of until when I get married, it's not an issue to me. The body just gets weirdo when I'm going into my periods and after my periods, of which it's less than a week. And I go back to normal and I do my own things. Because there is a particular lifestyle I chose to. It's my decision. It's not a group decision. I was taken to Sunday school, taught these things. Then I happened to sit in classes where we were talked to. Back in the day, there is a man called Apostle Alex Mitala. He started a movement and called it Glovimo. And we were told, we were young, and we were told no sex before marriage. And he said, if you walk right with the Lord and you stay away from sex until you get married, you give me back my baton. He gave us a baton. Mine got lost when we shifted in 2000. The baton was big and white in color, and it had a word, Glovimo. When you give it back at your wedding, he comes with a lamp. That was always his gift. Now, Esther's mindset, I am a child. When you're told something, I obey. I fear breaking the law. Because I fear being spanked. I fear being shouted at. Because the man I call my father never shouted at me. He never raised his voice at me. You're going to ask me, why do you talk about your father so much? Because he's the seed planter. Mama carries me. He gives the orders, and Mama makes sure we execute. Mama's work is to make sure we execute and we learn and we walk the talk. Mama had to learn certain things from Tata. Mama was young. Her father stopped being a father when she was around 17, 18. Or 16, 17, 18. Because of calamities of other women coming to the mixture. She didn't grow up with her mom. Her mom left when she was 1 year. And her life was her father and her grandmother's. Her father took up all the responsibility when the mother too, my mom, walked away. She was older than him. And she did not take in and put up with the man who shouts. Jaja was a tough man. They met somewhere, fell in love. Before you know it, mama is given birth to. And she was a Muslim. My grandfather was a Catholic. Mama told us that she learned to be a mother when she gave birth to us. She used the technique of babysitting because she used to babysit the children of the grandchildren of her auntie. In the family, mama has always been a babysitter. And her family loves her so much because of that. She has raised many people. When she came to church, she did the same thing. When she got married in the family, she got married to, she did the same thing. Only that people forget and don't even go back to say thank you. Because probably their mothers don't teach them to do that. I have seen her raise people in church. When people are failing in their marriages, the big and the small, the educated and non-educated. People started up businesses because of my mom. But when they sit to give testimonies, they never mention her. Probably they will mention her when they're waiting for her, when we are singing. She did it to serve the Lord. That's how we were raised. We don't do for people. It is God's work. Many people have gone through her hands. We are the type, as her kids, we tell her, Mom, I'm sending my friend to talk to my friend. When I talk to my friends, because I didn't have, I'm not yet, I wasn't yet a mother, and I wasn't yet a married woman, because I would cancel my friends. Then I'm like, you know what? Let me send you to my mom's place. And everyone I've sent to my mom, trust me, they've gotten a word of comfort. Those who are struggling with kids, those who are struggling in their marriages, those who are struggling with business. God gave her, she does not need to have a PhD. And she's someone's hair. And another person also wanted her to be their hair. And she's like, I'm already a hair to someone, now I become a hair. The kids to the other person are like, whether you are the hair or not, for us we know you as our hair, as our Joshua. Because of the experience, the walk, the journey, the way she was prepared. And many have benefited. And after her, then we follow suit. After you, your kids follow suit. But how have you raised your children? How have you prepared your children? Because you're in charge of certain people. Did God talk to your children about us? God is talking to Moses. Yes, you never met Moses and Joshua. When you look at the title, it says relating our day-to-day lifestyle. There's some people who quarrel, and I'm like, you don't come to my classes. You don't even know the title. And you're just quarreling with me. I chose to keep quiet, and lately I love the silence. You don't follow a thing, but you have an opinion about something you don't even sit to watch. Because it's not important. It's always about you and your things and your family. You support your siblings, you support your children, you support your friends. When it comes to me, I'm good when you have problems. Your friends are not good at that. Yes, we are all good in something. Me, I'm good when it is calamity. When it is party time, you have those who are good with party after party. Party after. When there is calamity, yes, we know where to go. And I like my position. That's why I stay in my lane, waiting for calamity and disaster to strike. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, arise to take the place. Most of you have taken places when God has not given you the place. Now you're struggling with the place. You're fighting with the family. You're fighting with this one, fighting with this one. Because you were not the one supposed to be in that place. When the position is yours, it becomes smooth. I pay a lot of attention to details. That is how I'm able to help those I've helped and they've gained. I don't need you to post me on your status to show me that you love me. My dear, you're not good at appreciating people and remembering them. And it is well. When the new people come in your life, those ones you put on your status, anniversary. When it comes to Esther, you have to come into my box and tell me, Esther, happy birthday. Hey, Esther, congratulations. My photo cannot fit on your status. Cannot even fit on your Facebook page. And I love you. Because you're not good at it. They told us we do what we are good at. But me, you don't need to tell me what I'm good at and what I'm not bad at. I already know. That is why I chose to do my own things. I don't like being a copycat. I don't start things because somebody else is starting it. I've been there too long. You just found out that I have a YouTube channel. Continue. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise to take his place. Cross over this Jordan, you and all these people, into the land which I am giving to them. Now, if it is God that has chosen you, let me tell you something. People tried to step in this, shutting me up. That is not how I'm supposed to teach. Then some decided to block me and say, it's good to tell name put too. My assignment was not a conference call. You put there blockages, boycott me. Baby, this is an ongoing thing. This is my insurance. When I stop it, it is me who loses. I know where my assurance and insurance is. Whether you come for class or not, this was not a conference call. God is going to send that man. When you go back into the book of Deuteronomy, God told Moses, God stood in the doorway. Do you know what it means, God to stand in the doorway and you can't see a thing? And he told Moses that that man, Joshua did not choose himself. Some parents have a particular mindset. That's not my child. You can't believe that your child cannot think beyond their nose. You're like, you always want to front your child. The last Proclaim Sunday we had at Miracle Center Cathedral, I was part of the team, and I was given an assignment that day. Those who watch Kayanja Robert Ministries, yes, it has Robert Kayanja Ministries. I was a Sunday school teacher until I was yes, we don't go there. Those who know, you don't know me. Yes. When God chooses you, that means the assignment is yours. So we wore the black t-shirts with the word Proclaim. And I had to be below the steps so that kids don't get distracted to go to their parents. I, being a Sunday school student, I know what it means when you're singing and your mother is the other side and she's clapping. Then your mother brings money to give you, as if she could not give you the money at home. Mama, you're distracting the child. You are always with this child. You don't even give them a sweet. Now, because you want to show people that is my daughter, the one who is singing is so good. The kids are serving. Kids get distracted. There is a basket there. Put the money in the basket. You want it for your child. Keep it. You give it to him at home. Hey. Eh? A mother runs from the back to show everyone that is my daughter. Excuse me. Then the other kids whose mothers can't afford to bring anything, or the other kids whose parents are not saved, Bambi, instead of singing, they start looking at the mother of the other and bringing money. And they're like, we are busy singing. Yes, that part was mine, to avoid parents going up to distract the kids and to avoid kids coming down when they're supposed to be up. Then we have these parents, they don't bring their kids for choir practice. Then at the last minute, they buy the t-shirt. And they're like, you go. I stood down and I'm like, go away. Let her stand down there with you. We don't want to guess. We don't want it. We told the parents, the kids, the time they're supposed to be at church, they come for choir practice, we're always there. Even when I could not speak, I made sure I was there. Yes, for us, don't give excuse that you're sick. Unless if I can't walk. When it comes to serving the Lord, we don't give excuses. Because the only place that brings comfort and peace is the church. That's how we were raised. The man that is my father is like that. We serve God in and out of season, and God takes care of the rest. So now I stay home. Then I learn how to talk again when I'm just home seated. I hear, let me watch from the TV. No, my friend, I had to go. And some people didn't even notice that I was sick. Because we don't pay attention to others. It's always about you. Some of us don't go putting a signpost. Yeah, but okay, I'm sick here, I'm sick. We don't do that. That's not how I was raised anyway. Until I can't walk, then I'll stay at home. But if I can walk, because when you walk around, even the sickness just disappears, because sometimes you're not even sick. It is just the devil tormenting you. So we walk around, get some fresh air. Good. When God sends you somewhere, many people, you've left your countries when God is not part of it. And you're struggling abroad. And you reach out, some people have lied. Banange. There is a man who lied, he comes from South Africa. And he said he was attacked and they burnt his farm. That is why he had to leave South Africa for the United States of America. There are some lies that are just something else. That he was attacked in apartheid. And he said it is still going. Of course, I know in South Africa, there are still places where they fight each other. Now he jumped onto that to get documents. And now if you're caught up in the net here and you're hit in the tornado. Yeah. I swear. Imagine lying that the president of your country killed your parents. You were alone. Then here, the tree falls, and it falls on your car when you're seated inside there. After lying, then you don't die. They rescue you. Then you come, they cut you out of the car, and they tell you that your spinal cord, you can never walk again. After lying that the president of your country killed your entire family. You are political, you call them political what? To asylum seekers. You lie to get documents abroad. And during the times of calamity, the place where you're staying with, the weather becomes colors. And your house, imagine you're busy sleeping, and you hear something like, "Bwah!" Or you, as you're sleeping, you hear the bed shaking, and your house is on water drowning. And you lose everything. And you lied about your parents. Now, before we know it, your parents see you on TV. But they're like, Panage. Then your parents get your pictures and they post them on social media. While you're in the process of getting your passport. And they post that Nnakimera Esther, Panage, our daughter. Now, in your story of coming to the US, it has your parents were killed in the war with the president. The president killed your family. And you're processing your documents. Then out of the blue. Your parents post you. They post all the family photos. And then they tag you in the photos, and for you don't know. Then the process that was shifting stands still. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise to take his place. Cross over this Jordan, you and all these people, into the land which I am giving to them, to the sons of Israel. Verses 3, I have given you every place on which the sole of your foot treads, just as I promised to Moses. Just listen to that statement. You've struggled so much in places where God has not sent you, because he did not give you a word. You're always waiting for that pastor to give you the word. When is God going to speak to you on a personal level? You're always waiting for that man, a God, that prophet. Sometimes the prophet knows what your heart wants in a special way. Why? You told the story of how you come from a poor background. They know how to orchestrate. They've learned all the lies and the tactics of the enemy of how to orchestrate as a prophet. Because they want a big tithe. That says the Lord. Which God says like that? I am now seeing you. Can I prophesy? Can I? Really? Because when I read in my Bible, hold on a bit. Way to sun, way to sun, way to sun, come on. Way to sun, way to sun, way to sun. In all the prophetic, throughout the Bible, I have a book here about prophets. That's what I was looking for, sorry. And when I look at all the prophets in the Bible, no prophet would ask that, can I prophesy? No prophet would ask that. Whoever started that, I don't know what their intentions. I don't know what the implication is. I don't know. We love copying and pasting. Please, you will forgive me. There are certain things that are being done, and the younger generation is copying things. And I'm like, I think I'm seeing things differently from others. I do not know. Yes, we will have the class of prophets. That's why I have that book. I was like, what went wrong? Why have we gotten to this? And people who don't understand these things are struggling so bad out there because they don't know the truth of how things are supposed to be, because they don't read the Bible. They have no idea. They have no idea whatsoever. I don't know, but whatever is going on, wherever we are going with all this drama, yes, it is drama. How a prophet is getting a phone and says he's calling Jesus. I don't know the way they download their things. I don't know. You know, the prophetic has failed me so much. The men and women who are in the prophetic. There is a way they feel like I'm attacking them. There is a way they feel like I am sabotaging their camps. Now, those camps you think that you own. I will, when I get it, I'll show you that book. But throughout history, no, I want you to follow whoever you're following when you're going to the right direction. I don't want you to reach there and you regret. You've gone through so much to get to the level you're at. I don't want you to regret when you're old in age, you've ended up being in a cult. And you don't know how to get out. You don't know where to start from. They've taken you back to zero. They have taken everything you own. You've even ended up giving them your house where you stay. All in the name of what? All in the name of what? Following the man of God. I want you to have your own head. I don't want you to move with another person's head on top of your head. That is all. I don't want you to follow blindly and you get there and you're following a witch doctor. There is nothing as hurting as moving someone and you think you're going somewhere, when this person is busy building their own mansion and they're using you as their raw materials. They don't care about your well-being. They don't care whether you have food. They don't care whether you have medication. They don't care whether you go to school. They use your hard-earned money and you stay empty. I know how God speaks. You don't just tell me to sow a seed. I breastfed some of these things. My friend, I know how to get money. I know how to keep the money. I know the power of a seed. I know what investment is all about. When I am, in case I was like you, and I'm allowed to open my wing where I have invested, you cannot chase. You can't. You can't. The number of years I have invested. Let us leave Esther alone. Why? Because the one that sent me, the one who has been leading this journey now 40 years, will give you any place you step. You will enter an environment and you command. The environment will bow down. Last year, in September, no, August, the last day of August, I was asked, I don't know whether they sent the person to do that to me or the person thought for themselves, but on the look of things, the person was sent to talk to me and probably educate me. Though the way it was done, it was so disrespecting. Especially when you don't check on me to find out what is going on in my life. Then you ask me such questions. Yes, I felt attacked and offended. The way it was done was wrong. But for them, they don't see anything wrong about it. Hence, they don't even bother to apologize. Because they're old in age. You don't know what's going on in my life? You've never bothered to find out from the horse's mouth? Because before, as a leader, before you bring your agenda onto someone, you need to know how they are. And it's a process, not that very day you're seeing them. You need to know how to handle people. Someone gave her the authority. Because she's been doing that in people's lives. To help them move from one level to the next. Now when it comes to Esther Solome, something was destroyed 8 years ago. And it was not cleaned and cleared. They neglected it and covered it. And as a person, I'm expected to forgive. But for them, they can't apologize, right? But they're given authority over us. The authority is given to them by man, not God. The authority given to God over me is my parents and my pastors. Then it is my pastors to delegate others above me. Not God. It was not God. It is the pastors that give authority to others to stand and make sure we are doing okay. But the process in which it is being done is wrong. Pastors, whoever you give the authority, make sure you train them. I'll give you another example. Someone lost someone here, and I happened to go. And pastors would send some people to go and represent them. But the people they would send were not trained. As usual, Esther asks questions. I asked questions. I asked the leaders that would listen, would care to listen to me. I'm like, why did Pastor so-and-so send that person? Wasn't there a better person who can talk to someone who is grieving? Because the words that were said by the person who was sent, they made the grieved woman to even move from her seat and go to the kitchen and hide. Someone is grieving, she has lost her son. You start preaching and saying, when someone is grieving, it's not time to preach. You come with comforting words. Know exactly who you're talking to. Study the environment in which you're coming to. Ask God to give you a word of comfort to the grieving family. The people you send in your positions, you've not trained them. I've seen politicians talk when people are grieving, and I'm like, no, who gave that one the authority to talk? The woman is grieving because her husband died in a car accident. You're busy bringing Museveni into the conversation. You're busy bringing your fights into our grieving moment. We are hurting. We have lost a loved one. You're bringing your fights into our pain. You need to be prepared and know that the environment I'm going to, the person I'm going to talk to, this is what they are going through. This is what happened. Don't touch this sensitive area, not now. The boy was into drugs. Don't touch that area that way. Yes, it might have been the fault of a mother not to care about the child, but the mother is a single mother. She has to go and work. Whatever happened between her and the father of the child is not to be discussed now. Wait for them to grieve. Then get a moment when it's not time for grieving and teaching people to be careful with the men that impregnate them. And tell the mothers, yes, you want to work, but you're going to make losses here with the kids. Joshua was trained. He walked a journey with Moses. He saw how the work was being done. Moses' kids were not trained. The assignment was too big. Moses' kids come from a Midianite woman. They don't know the Israelite culture. You've gone to the western part of your country. There is a particular culture. Before you open your mouth, see. Know the culture. I am one person, when I go to places, I have to study it. I pay attention to details. When I went to do my industrial training in Cobalt, Kasese Company Limited, Cobalt. Cobalt is used to make the body of a plane because we have pyrite in Uganda. Investors came to Uganda. They came from South Africa, they came from India, they came from Australia. Then they hired Ugandans because as an investor, you're supposed to hire the locals. Then you outsource those who are educated and have masters and degrees, and you get human resource and everything. Because you need people who are educated at the same time as you need resources, human resource, men with power, whether they've gone to school or not. It's about you training them. Kasese Cobalt trains people. It's a training ground. I learned some Lukonjo. We used to go for meetings who would represent the general manager, Rob Jennings. And I had to follow my supervisor, Dr. Juliet Kavasita. She's a Mtoro. And we are going to a community that has Batoro and Wakonzo. Because Kasese is on the border of Congo and Uganda in Wera. So there is a mixture of people from Congo. And we have a mixture of Mukonjo. If that is what it is, I need to go back into the history anyway. We have Vakonzo. They stay in the mountains, kind of. Some of them are short people like this. Yes, it's a mixture of Zaire and Ugandans. They get a mixture of someone there. And where you have Black Americans, they give them a tribe, Mukonjo. But they are in Uganda. I had to learn the language to be able to listen and communicate. Because now Rob Jennings would speak English. There is no way he's going to come and speak. He would walk through and walk around. But he sent the locals. And I would listen and watch and write notes because I was doing my industry training. By the time I had 3 months, by the time I went back to Kampala, my Luganda was not Lugandaring. It had a lot of Motoro in there. And I happened to have a grandmother who was coming from the royal family in Toro Kingdom. And my grandmother, the mother to my dad, had a sweetheart whose mother was from the Toro Kingdom also, from the royal family. She had one of her sons with her first boyfriend, whose mother was from the Toro kingdom. So they would speak Rutoro, especially the grandmother, the wife to one of my grandfathers, she would speak Rutoro. And we learned along the way. She added Rutoro and Luganda, and we had a mixture of a slang. But when I went to Kasese in 2007, I took it a notch higher to learn the real words. And I speak Kataito, small here and there. Me, when I go into another culture, I learn their things. Where they greet, and when the elder is greeting, you kneel down and on one knee, and then the mkikuru, that the old men and women touch your head like this or use their stick. Then you touch their hand like this, then for them they do like that. I saw another culture when I went to Tanzania. Tanzania is one country that speaks the real Swahili. Kenyans, their Swahili is a bit of a slang in here and there. But the Tanzanians, they speak the real deal. In Uganda, Swahili used to be for the army. Uganda is a country where we can speak any language we want, because we are good at learning things very fast. Because as a leader, you need to learn certain things to help people. You don't just bump from nowhere and you bring your ideologies the way you want. You need to study the environment. Not everyone is like you. You might be very organized when I'm not. And we're supposed to work together. You need to learn who I am, the way you want me to learn who you are. If you're the head, yeah, we do what you want. If it becomes heavy for you, you sort yourself. That's how I am. I always come in and I'm like, no, it is done like this, because of being around leadership for too long. I've gotten experience by being under certain people. I've met the great and the best. Now my turn. What do I do? Joshua had to learn from Moses. But God had chosen Joshua. Some of you are put in position because it is your mother in charge up there. She's the MD. With all the poor communication skills you carry and portray around. And everyone is like, I don't like that man. Oh. What is so funny? People complain about you. People complain about your wife. People complain about your children. But Nag. Because there is no apple that falls far from the tree. Women learn the poor characters from they share poor manners from their husbands. And some husbands don't see anything wrong with their wives. They just keep quiet because the wife has more money. The husband is always quiet, and he sees the wife stepping on people, and he just keeps quiet like this. You're the man. Why are you giving your wife the position to destroy others? As a man, step up for your game. God has given you the power and authority. But because the world is like, the green card was for the wife. My foot green card. When we come here, women talk more than the men. Why? Fathers, step up your game, I told you. Without you, that woman can't be a mother. I know your wife talks, she can talk, trust me, I can talk. But my husband is like, honey, sweetheart, yes. He's like, But he had to learn the kind of person I am. Many of my family members missed my 8 years. I left the country when I can't talk. I was sick. But all the years I spent, the 31 years I left in my country, that I stayed in my country, I wasn't talking because it was witchcraft. So that what you see today is not given birth to. The person who was talkative is our great-grandmother. So if you meet any of my family members that you know who talks a lot, that's where it comes from. But no one notices they are talking too much. They had to notice mine because of the kind of assignment I have. When the assignment is big, expect everyone to point a finger. Get ready for it. I don't want you to get caught off guard. It almost killed me. If God had not put me in that position, right now I'd be singing Mawingona, 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 Mawingona. When God gives you the position, no one can take it. No one can call for a thing. They come, step on you, and you stay standing. They come, step on you, badmouth you, and you stay standing. You cry, you heal, and you stay standing. Because God gave you the power, the position. And they have nothing to do about it. It is, if they want to hang around you, they've got to learn who you are. If they don't want, adios. Joshua 1:3, I have given you every place on which the sole of your foot treads, just as I promised to Moses. God gave me where I am standing. When I was told that the US doesn't respect us and our education, I said, it's only you. My US has bowed down. I was asked last year that why didn't I go to school? Why didn't I go back to school? Why am I a citizen? Why haven't I invested? I was asked, do you have any investments? I looked at the person asking me such questions. What was going on in my heart and my mind? I was like, after 8 years, you did not apologize for disrespecting me and my parents. You just covered it. I almost lost my life here. You said the wrong things about me, and people believed and boycotted me in society. Yes, that's what was going on in my mind. And a wound was opened since 2015 May. Now the person wants to have a conversation with me. By asking me questions. No one has ever asked me how I felt. I was just told, forgive and forget and move on. And the Lord told me, Esther, I want you to help my people. Because people stopped working with people. They stopped doing my work because of such things. People left church because of such things. People destroy family relationships because of such things. And I'm like, God is speaking, man is also speaking. Who do I listen to more? When I listen to God, people are going to walk away and boycott me, right? I'm like, okay. It will hurt for a season because people have grown up with in church, in family, as a Sunday school kid, people have stood with, they're going to walk away because someone said particular words because of a green card, right? Okay. People are going to boycott, they are going to block me because of the word of God, right? Okay. Now I'm going to choose who has more power. Then I had to put a weighing scale. Whether to fear man or to fear God. And I'm like, who chose the journey? God chose the journey, and he used people. And when they took credit for the work, he threw them out and closed the wing so that no one knows what is going on in my life. And I accepted God to close it so that I can heal and grow his way, not man's way. So I told the person, my United States of America bowed down. It has not disrespected me. And those who have tried have gotten the taste of their medicine. I went back to school. I did a certificate here and graduated. I passed my exam. I am a citizen. I have investments. Then I kept quiet. Then I could not take it anymore. I requested to leave because the wound was so fresh that day. The 31st of August. I walked out. I was prayed for and I left. And I told myself, Esther, it is time to get out of your sorry state. It is time to rise up again and take your position before God gives it away. Yes, God sent me someone in August who was struggling, one of my prayer partners, and told her to tell me that if I don't wake up, he's gonna give away my position. And God told that same person in 2021 that you guys have failed to listen to my servant. I'm gonna take her. Yeah. Was it 2021, 2022? 2022, the person cried. The person started to repent. She sent me the message, what God had told her. It was 2022 when I decided to go silent throughout 2023. She did not even know that I had faced death on several occasions while in my silence. She cried. I saw the message and I read it. I already knew that when I refused to do the assignment, the end game is a coffin. God sent another one to tell me to do the work. There are 3 people God has. 2, it has been constant. The other one was in 2018 to do what he told me to do. In 2018, the Lord told the lady to tell me if I refuse, he's going to take me back to Uganda by force. yet I came as a resident. Then in 2022, the Lord told the other person, I will take her because you guys have refused to listen to her. Because probably I was starting to complain. When God loves you and he doesn't want you to complain. A friend of mine had to go be with the Lord because he had started complaining. He was called Paul Kwikiriza. You think God could not heal him? When he died, I have a habit of telling my mother to go see my friends in hospital because she's in the hospitality ministry. She visits hospitals and preaches the word and prays for the sick. I told her to go and check on my friend. We were in third year when he died. In 2007. After Mama visiting Paul, it did not take a week and Paul passed. I told my mother my friend has passed. We had to go to Ibanda to bury. I went to Ibanda and represent some people who could not travel. He told me, Esther, you go. They gave me money and I went to Ibanda because we were supposed to contribute some money for the university bus we were given. When I reached in Ibanda, I asked myself, who is Paul? Why is it that people are flying in from different countries? Who is exactly was this young man at 25? People could not even reach to go and bury. Everywhere. I was like, are we burying a president? What is going on? Mama was at home praying and asking the Lord questions. Why? And a voice told her, Paul finished my assignment that I gave him. I took Paul because he had started complaining and I didn't want my servant to miss heaven. He has completed my work. That's why I took Paul. My mother wiped her tears and stopped mourning Paul and celebrated Paul. After the time we had finished burying, Paul requested his parents to give his testimony on his behalf. They had a 96-book exercise book. Paul wrote his journey with his dad. When he was in India, when he went for the first surgery. When God chooses you, he does not want to lose you just like that. He does not want to lose you to the things of the world. Because he loves us so much. And he's going to protect you and give you whatever you need at the time you need it. Paul got people to help. People who didn't know him. God used a particular family to sponsor Paul's medical bills in India. They stayed on the course. Paul came back from India when everything is okay. What hit Paul was to be told at the university that he was given a dead year without consulting him. That made him retard, and Paul's liver was affected. And it took him back to Mulago, the Heart Institute. And we used to visit Paul. We were always two with a friend of mine. After our lectures, we would go. That's what leaders do. We don't leave you in the fire. Train your children. Joshua was trained. As a leader, you follow up. You don't destroy people. You don't throw people off the bus because you can talk. You don't choose who sits on the bus. They're all God's people. But how do you deal with them? You've got to study the environment. And ask God, did you give me this assignment? I don't know how to handle your people. The times you're in are bad. People are losing their loved ones. People are lonely in the houses. They need a place to belong. People are sick. Pick your phone, call your friends. Find out, how are you? Is everything okay? You have a car, it has fuel. I don't need to fuel your car for you to come and see me. That is not a leader. You call yourself a pastor, a senior pastor, an apostle, bishop, a prophet. We are only good when we are alive, right? And we are bringing a tithe and standing with a ministry for you to build and be big, right? And that's what you're teaching people. When we have problems, you say you're busy with God's work. I am God's work. This is the church, not this. Jesus went back to pick the one sheep that had disappeared. David made sure he had to fight the lion to make sure it does not eat his father's sheep. What do? Because David was a trained man. God chose David. Are you chosen? As you keep saying, I am chosen. You think it's about wearing the hat that I graduated, I have a PhD in theology. You think that makes you a leader. You think it's about promotions. You think it's about money. Money is just a topping on the iceberg or a pizza. Money is just to quicken the work. But when you don't have the leadership skills like communication, you're as good as a dead lion. Leadership is not about making money out of people. You're just poor. I don't need to make people pay money to teach them parenting. I don't need that. Those who don't have money and they are poor at heart and they are poor, they want a side hustle, let them go ahead. They're good at it. Let them go ahead. After all, they have to read and copy and paste from books. I don't need to copy and paste from a book. I grew up in a house that has a mother and a father. I know what parenting is all about. I've been parented. I don't need to go and you teach me budgeting. Before I went to school, they did teach how to save money. I know how to manage money. I don't need to pay anyone to teach me those things. When I come and attend your thing, it's because I love you. So that you don't become a beggar. You're just poor at heart. When you're poor, poverty from birth, until when you die. This is always poor. Yes, I support you and share your things so that others can go watch you because you're on ground. There is something about you they need to learn because they come from environments that don't have those things. They are not privileged like you. I wish when someone is sick, you can still have the same drive and energy to stand with them. But you wait for us to die. Then you contribute to our coffins, right? Then you contribute to buying t-shirts. I hear I'm starting a foundation. Which foundation are you starting? A foundation of what? That man that has died has a legacy. It has impacted people. Moses' legacy impacted people. It did not quench people to make them poor. That is why we are reading about Moses. What are we going to read about you again? Please remind me. You are a leader, you teach leaders, you train leaders. What are we going to read about you when you are gone? Sweetheart, we are not going to talk about your side hustle. That is called a side what? That is a gig. Your side hustle. But we are going to talk about your value addition. Value addition, it is you who gives. You want your empire to grow? You better become a giver. Why? Because God has given you that place and you trade. But because it is not God who sent you on that assignment, on that side hustle, when you die with your hustle. There are men who left a huge stone. When you look at their legacy, I want to identify as that man. I want to be a friend to the children of that man. I want to be a friend to that woman. They are not celebrities. Okay, let me give you an example, a small one. Have you heard of Little Beach Entertainment in Uganda? I know you have. Okay, have you gone to Little Beach? Yes, you've gone and you've eaten the fish. Please continue going. Continue going. When you find the children of that man, you just want to be their friend. Because their father left a legacy no one can destroy. He taught his children to have a kind heart, not to take from people, but to give. And the more they've done it, God raised a standard. They are always in a private wing. Us who know them, we work with our... They come in a place, and you're like, the city is here. And you ask, who is that when they're giving a seat? They don't, and they don't front themselves. No? They stand somewhere and get quiet. But what they've done in people's lives can shout. Yes, go find out who Little Bitch is. You love finding out and concocting things the way you want. Go, 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 go. You need a big PS system. PS system. You love finding out. Go find out if you think you want to find out. There are people who stay in the private wing. The only time they come to the public, when someone needs help. They step up. And when they step up, they don't talk. Their feet talks. Yes, those are the circles I work with. Because that's a lifestyle in where I come from. It's a bloodline issue. Yes, I'm out in the public because of God's work. But we love the private wing. They've educated people. They've housed people. They've taken care of people's health. They've stood in a gap where others don't. And they do it silently. They post their things silently and they don't really shout on Facebook. Facebook is just entertainment. When they're having fun, it's always in the private wing. When you look at their photos, you want to find out. Go find out. Yes, go. We have a PS system. It needs, yes, you need good music. You need good food. We don't do mediocre lifestyle. When God gives you, you give back. And people continue with the legacy. I have given you every place on which the sole of your foot treads, just as I promised to Moses, from the wilderness for Arabia in the south, and this Lebanon in the north, even as far as the great river, the river Euphrates in the east, all the land of the Hittites, Canaan, and as far as the great Mediterranean Sea, toward the west shall be your territory. No man will be able to stand before you or oppose. When God sends you, no one. Let me tell you something. When people stepped in my way to shut me up, I had to back off. Because when I forced the way in, I got through the wall. Because I love you so much, I had to pause. Because he told me, Esther, when they complain, please step back because that is their territory, not yours. Respect it. Don't go off the WhatsApp group. Let them throw you off. Use your social media platform and do my work. And stay in there, however tight it gets. When they block you, let them block you. I did not know that some are going to fall a victim of the season. But either way, it's an assignment. And your pastors hope their cover, as they call it, it covered you well. You always tell us we need a cover from pastors. They made sure they removed mine. They did not know that the one who sent them is the same man that sent me and covered me and protected me and hid me. Since 2020, the US has been struggling with the weather. But the places I stay in, God has protected everyone in the community. while others are struggling. My area, you might think we are on another planet. This is God giving you a place. God just used people to stay on my journey. When they took credit, God took them out and closed the wing in 2019, in February. I'm going to stop there. When God sends you, He gives you every place on which the sole of your foot treads, just as He promised Moses. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we give you praise, we give you glory, we give you honor. Thank you for Tyrone Rogers. Bless the works of his hands, enlarge his territory with his children, with his wife, with his relatives and family members and friends, with his workmates. Protect them, guide them, with long life satisfy them. Open that wing, open that door for him to see the light daily. Heal those who are sick in his family. Fill the gap of the void left of their loved ones that have died. Enlarge their territory and heal their wounds. Protect them at all cost, Lord. They are your people. With long life, satisfy them. I mention his name because I see him. I use him as a point of contact for every man and woman who sits out there, who will watch later, who will watch 10 years from now, until when Facebook closes, YouTube closes. Bless them, enlarge their territories and camps. Give them the desires of their hearts. Lord, I pray they delight in you at all costs and corners. I pray for all the Joshuas out there who come after Moses, the heirs. I pray that they are trained by their Moses. They are prepared for the journey so that God can speak to them and gives them the places where the sole of their foot treads. I give you praise, I give you glory, I give you honor. I hide under the shadow of your wings. Protect me, Lord, and guide me. Teach me your ways. There are many who are waiting for me to fall. They think I have the same foundation they have. When the foundation is Christ, you focus. Follow only Christ until submission. The eyes on the ball. And when I lift up my eyes to the hills, where does my help come from? It comes from the Lord. Lord, help me not to be like the previous leaders who went before us. Change the kind of leader I am to serve your people the way you want. Your way, not my way. Your will and not my will. Protect my parents, my siblings, my friends, my relatives, my family members, my husband, for the glory of your name. I give you praise, I give you glory, I give you honor. In Jesus' mighty name I believe and pray. Amen. Take care of yourself. Ask the Lord where you are, where you're supposed to belong. And if you're given authority by anyone to stand in their shoes, make sure you're prepared for what you're going to see or for whoever you're going to talk to. Study the environment before you talk to anyone so that you don't disrespect them because you are the leader, because you're the big, because you have the anointing. there is a criteria as you're doing God's work so that you don't destroy people's hearts. Read Colossians 3 and study it. Let everything be for the glory of his name. I sign out. Enjoy the 18th. Those are new beginnings.